Hello guys, welcome to the new video. In this video we'll see what is clustering factor of an index. So if you query DBA index, so you'll see that there is a column called as clustering factor. So what is this number all about? So we'll discuss that in detail, and also in the course of the video we'll see how sometimes full table scan is better than index range scan or any index scan in fact. So note that index is not always good. Okay, sometimes it is better to access the table directly instead of going via index. So today I'll demonstrate you that with the help of an example. So for that I need two tables. One is say organized table. So we'll have two columns, one is number and another is a varchar column. So I have created a test table. Now let's insert some 100k records into this table. So I already have a PL/SQL block. As you can see, I'm inserting a number in the A column, and in the B column I'm generating some random values and padding it appropriately with star for the rest of the values. So you can see I'm inserting this, so it's already committed. Now let me show you what is a sample record like. Test dot organized where a equal to 1. You can see this is a random value and I'm padding the rest up to 79 with star. Okay, so you can check what is the average row length for this table. Table name equal to organized and owner equal to test. So it's not displaying, so let me collect some stats on that. So you can do that with dbms stats dot gather table stats. This will be test, this will be organized, owner and table name. Okay, so now it is done. So let's select again average row length from DBA tables with table name equal to organized and owner equal to test. Okay, so the average row length is 84 bytes. Now let's create an index on this table. Test dot organized index on test dot organization. Let's create it on column A. Okay, the table name is organized. Test dot org idx on test dot organized on column A. So index is created. Now let's create one more table which is disorganized. So test dot disorganized. Now we'll select it from organized table, but in this case we'll order it by column B. Okay, create table name. This is a simple CTAS. Okay, create table name as select star from test dot organized, order by column B. Now let's gather stats on this. dbms stats dot gather table stats. This is test and table name is this organized. Okay, the average row length remains same, but what happens here is in the organized table the rows are organized from 1 to 100k. Okay, so that is an organized table and this is a disorganized table because I am ordering by column B. So B is full of random values, so this table will have all the records in disorganized state. It will not be in organized state. Okay, so let's create index for this. Create table test dot disorg idx on test dot disorganized. Say let's create in the same column A. So now we have create index, right? So I missed that. Test dot disorg idx on test dot disorganized column A. Okay, so what we have now is we have two tables, one is organized table and another is disorganized table, and we have two indexes, one is organized index and another is disorganized index. So now next step is to find out what is the clustering factor of these two indexes, and also let's write a simple query, a select query to fetch some records and see the explain plan for the both two tables. Okay, so now we have two tables and two indexes on those underlying tables. Now let's use this query which I have just written now, which is select a dot index name, b dot table name, a dot clustering factor and b dot blocks and b dot num rows from joining dba indexes with dba tables on table name column. And since there are only two tables and the test schema, I am just giving this clause in the where, that is b dot owner equal to test. So this clustering factor value when compared with blocks and num rows will give you a very good picture on whether the index on the underlying table is good or a very bad index. Okay, so let's run this query. You can see that there are two indexes here, one is organized index and another is disorganized index. So these are the indexes on the respective tables, organized and disorganized. You can see that for organized index the clustering factor is 1249, which is very close to number of blocks of organized table. Similarly, the second index, that is disorganized index, has a clustering factor of 99,927. This value is close to num rows. Okay, so this is a very important point in the discussion. So let me phrase you correctly that an index is said to be a good index if the clustering factor of that index is close to the number of blocks of that underlying table. Okay, so organized index is a good index because clustering factor, that is the value, is close to number of blocks of that underlying table, that is organized table. Okay, so 1249 is close to 1251, so this is a good index. And disorganized index has a clustering factor whose value is close to number of rows on that particular table. Okay, this means the index is bad. So clustering factor says you how many reads are required to fetch the data in the underlying table. Okay, so in the disorganized table the number of reads or the number of gets is almost equal to the number of rows. Okay, so to demonstrate you that, let me create an explain plan So explain plan for select star from test.organized where A between 20,000 and 50,000. Okay, so this is a 100k records. In that, say we need around 20,000 to 30,000, around 10k records. Okay, let me see the explain plan. tbms underscore explan dot display. You can see that this query has used index which was created on column A, that is organized index. It is doing an index range scan, so it is getting the values and the cost is 150. Okay, so this is the access method. Now let's see what is the explain plan for second table. Okay, select star from test dot disorganized where A between 20,000 and 30,000. So this is the same query. Now again we'll use the same table to see what is the explain plan like. As you can see, Oracle is clever enough to disregard this bad index, so it is going for a full table scan in this case. Okay, now suppose your developer or a DBA is insisting to use index on every tables. Your first instinct is to add rule on this select query to make use of this disorganized index. Okay, now let's see what will be the explain plan if we force a index scan for this query. Okay, so we can do that. So let me clear the screen. We'll try the explain plan by forcing a index range scan on this table, that is test.disorganized, and see what does the explain plan look like. Okay, you can see that the cost is high because this is a full table scan on a disorganized table, and for organized table the cost was 150 and elapsed time was less, and here it is almost double. Let me show you what is the third explain plan like on the disorganized table. So let me show you the third plan, which is I'm forcing it to use the index. So I'm selecting from disorganized table where A between 20,000 and 30,000, because I'm getting these 10k records, but in this case I am asking it to use the index which is disorganized index. Okay, so I am making use of this index hint. So let me see, let's run the explain plan here and let's see what is the plan like. Okay, ooh, can you see the cost between organized index and disorganized index is here. In the case of organized index we are fetching 10k records, but the cost is 150. Here the same 10k records are being fetched from disorganized table using disorganized index. The cost is 10,036. Okay, and you can see what is the elapsed time here. So it is more than 2 minutes, and here it is in just 2 seconds. Okay, so what we studied is that the clustering factor, if the clustering factor of an index is close to number of blocks, then that is a good index, or if the clustering factor is close to number of rows of table, then it is a very bad index. So in this case disorganized index is very bad and organization index is a good index. Okay, so this is the importance of clustering factor. So there are two parts in this video. This is a part 1. In the second part I'll show you what is actually happening at the in the behind the scenes, okay, for this queries. Okay, so thanks a lot. Please subscribe to our channel for many more Oracle videos.